The American healthcare system needs to get the fuck out of here, okay? This is crazy. I just asked for an itemized bill of earlier this month where I was dying and I needed to be hospitalized for 3 days. Bitch, the total of that 3-day service was $83,334.33. For what? For what? Oh my god. And I'm wondering if I get a degree with this service or walking down an aisle for surviving. You must be out your mind. This is the price of an Ivy League program. Not only was I dysfunctional during half of this stuff, I also didn't ask for half this stuff. Blood must cure cancer with how much they charge me for blood work. You gotta be $6,000. It sounds like I need to be reimbursed for all the stuff y'all took out of my body. Here's the fun part. $10,296. Do you know what that's for? That is for the HB room board semi-private med bed. Who the hell asked for that? I just need my airways open. Mind you, I got back problems. I really got back problems for 3 days in that bed. So make it make sense. Albuterol at home costs like $30. Apparently, in a hospital, it's like $462. I just needed help to open my airways. You would have thought I left with a baby. So moral of the story, it's better to ride it out and talk to Jesus. Because if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. If it's your time to stay, then he's going to make a way.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafui. Ladies, today we are looking at the US healthcare system and what is wrong with this system. We'll be seeing different videos of different people complaining about this system. Like, not one video has said how good it is. Let me tell you, the hospital bills I've seen in this video are crazy. They are very crazy. I never imagined people pay that much. Even if it's the US, that's too much. That's too much. Oh my God. Hey. And I sympathize with the people who have to get these services. Like, they really have conditions whereby they really have to access these services. I really sympathize with them. Anyway, ladies, without further ado, let's jump right into this video and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Gallotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
A few years ago, I had to get a breast reduction surgery because my doctor was worried that my back was going to spontaneously break itself under all of the weight that I had on the front. So I went to the consultation and the surgeon tried to deny me the surgery that would have saved me from a broken back. Because what if your future husband doesn't like the scars? And the surgeon also tried to talk me out of the surgery by saying that there was I think it was like a 40% chance that I wouldn't be able to breastfeed my future child that I would have with my future husband, even though I made it abundantly clear I never plan on having children. And so I said, I don't plan on having children, and she still tried to talk me out of it anyway because of the opinions of an imaginary man that doesn't exist. And when I inevitably got tired of the future husband argument, I lied to her and said that I was a lesbian so she would get off my back. And you know what she said to me? You still have time to change your mind. Maybe you just haven't found the right man yet. And when you do find the right man, you're gonna want children, and it's gonna be very hard for you to breastfeed if you get this surgery. And then she kept mentioning that my future husband might not like the scars. Keep in mind, this surgery was to keep my back from breaking itself spontaneously. Obviously, I still got the surgery. I've talked about it on this page a few times, but you better believe me when I say that the American healthcare system will always care more about the opinions of an imaginary man than the needs of a very real woman. I'm currently trying to get my tubes removed. My consultation is on Friday, and I fully expect some blowback for it. I know for a fact that they're going to try and talk me out of it, because what if my future husband wants kids? Because once again, say it with me, the medical system will always value the opinions of an imaginary man over the needs of a very real woman. And when I say real woman, that includes includes trans women too, I promise you. I've always known that I don't want kids. I've known that since I was a child, and I'm fully aware that they're going to try and talk me out of this surgery, and so I'm going to light a fire under so many people's asses that they are going to be too busy screaming to say no. I've got people in my comment sections telling me to hold off until I find the right man for me. I've got people in my comment section saying, oh, I was just like you when I was 22, and now all I want is a family. Good thing I'm not you. Maybe shut the fuck up. I've got people in my comment section telling me that I'm not old enough to know what I want to do with my own body yet. I've got people in my comment section telling me that I'm too pretty not to be a mom, not to give birth to a pretty child. Are you And then other people in my comment sections are trying to defend me from these other people saying, she's just closing one door to motherhood. Like, if she changes her mind, like when she changes her mind, she can adopt. I appreciate it, but I'm not going to change my mind. The truth is, I do not want children. I never have, and I never fucking will. I've got people telling me that once I close off the door to motherhood, I'm going to be so lonely, I'll get a fucking dog. I've got people telling me that my 55 written reasons why I don't want children isn't enough reasons for me not to want kids. Sit on that. Not to mention, I have also had people telling me that I am selfish for not wanting to have kids now. You want to know what's selfish? Having children when you do not have the financial, mental, or physical means to have them or take care of them, and you have them anyway just because you want them the same way you want a fucking pet. You want to know what's selfish? Having children specifically just so you can have somebody take care of you when you're old. That is selfish. So now I'm gonna go and finish getting ready for work because that is a job that I make money from, and I'm gonna use all of that money that I'm saving by not having kids to pay for my car and some new tires.
Now, I knew healthcare in America was a joke, but I truly had no idea what I was really in for when I turned 26. If you're unaware, in America, when you turn 26 years old, you can no longer be on your parents' medical insurance. And because my birthday is next month, I have to now set up my own. And oh my fucking god, I'm going to throw up. Obviously, my first choice was to stay with my provider, right? Because I've had them my whole fucking life. And because I would be signing up for insurance as an individual rather than through an employer, this was the cheapest plan they could offer me. $285 per month with a $6,000 deductible and $60 co-pays every time I go to the doctor. Ooh, let's not forget the $90 if I get sick and need a prescription. So let's do some math. I'm a pretty healthy girl. I only go to the doctor maybe once a year. So $285 a month for 12 months, that's $3,420, plus the $6,000 deductible, which is $9,420, plus the $60 for my doctor's visit, plus the $90 in case I need a prescription. That's another $150, bringing our grand total to $9,570. That's $9,570 out of my pocket before insurance even covers anything. And to me, these are exorbitant numbers. But then I post that shit on Twitter and people are like up my ass telling me that that is cheap. Some even saying I shouldn't be complaining. Forgive me for believing that any amount of money for care that I need to sustain my life is too damn much. And of course, I'm neurospicy, okay? Once I get into something, it's like a rabbit hole that I cannot stop. So I start doing further research. Is it even really worth it? Like, if something does happen, how much is it going to cost and how much is insurance going to cover? So I'm like, okay, what is the average cost of one night in a hospital? The average cost per day in a hospital in the US is $2,883. But I live in California. So that's looking more like $4,181. So then I tried to research how much of that actually gets covered by insurance, only to find out that insurance companies, people without medical degrees, can decide you don't need the treatment that your doctor is saying you need to live, and then they just won't cover it. They just won't cover it. This is what the grown-ups be doing? This is your fucking life? This is gonna be my life? How is this sustainable? I'm sorry, I am truly baffled. What's most shocking is this is normalized in America. Like, there were people on Twitter trying to convince me that this was normal. This isn't fucking normal, guys. It's not fucking normal.
How can I help you? So I think there's a mistake on the bill, but maybe you could help me out. We got a bill, and then we realized that you guys didn't have our insurance, so we sent you the insurance, and it looks like the bill went up.
It went up?
Yeah, the first bill we got without the insurance was $600, and then the second one was almost $1,300.
Okay. Yeah, so that the first invoice you received, that's a discount that you receive if you're uninsured. So you're not eligible for the discount since you are insured. And so the bill was $2,342.14. We billed your insurance. Your insurance only paid $1,078.85.
Can I go back to the discount without the insurance?
No, sir, you're insured, so you're not eligible for the discount.
If I go cancel my insurance, am I eligible for the discount?
No, sir, because we checked eligibility and you do have active coverage for data service.
Oh, I needed to cancel it before I got the service to get the discount.
You're only eligible for the discount if you're uninsured.
Okay, so I'll get cheaper health care if I'm uninsured.
If you're uninsured, you're eligible for the discount, correct?
Is this common? Like I pay for insurance and I end up paying more out of pocket because I pay for a premium? That's wild.
No, this is just a new law that started 2024 AB 716, and the law is if you receive a discount if you're uninsured.
Okay.
So when we first send a invoice to the patient, we bill them as if they're uninsured. If you're insured, unfortunately, you're not eligible for the discount.
Okay, so just if I have the incentives straight here, if I want to pay less for medical care, I should cancel my insurance if my daughter needs life-saving medical care?
I'm not sure. I don't know, sir.
You
should cancel your insurance. I'm just letting you know that discount's only for patients who are uninsured.
Okay, that is special. That is a special law. So there's no way to put that discount onto an insured person. Only the uninsured people get that.
No, correct.
People are calling Ubers instead of ambulances to take them to the hospital because it's so much cheaper. So this rideshare driver in Texas purchased a siren to put on top of his car so that when people call him to go to the hospital, he can get that woo 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 going to help clear traffic. It was working perfect until a police officer pulled him over and said, "Hey, you're impersonating an emergency vehicle." And he's like, "I am an emergency vehicle. If we don't get him to the hospital, he's going to lose his leg." And the cop's like, "I don't believe you, buddy." And he's like, "Take a look in the back seat. I got a guy back here who Texas chainsaw massacred his own leg." Unfortunately, when he woke up from surgery, the guy no longer has two legs, and the surgeon came in and said, like, "Man, if the ambulance would have got here a few minutes sooner, I could have saved your leg." And he's like, "I didn't take an ambulance here." And surgeon's like, "What do you mean?" And the patient's like, "I was on my way here in an Uber, and we were gonna make it in time, but then Walker Texas Ranger pulled us over and stopped us." And the surgeon's trying to talk to the patient, but the guy's not listening. He's just on his phone, and the surgeon's like, "What are you even doing right now?" And he's like, "Well, even though this is the Lone Star State, I gotta give that Uber driver a 5-star review because he almost got me here in time."
Did you know that the United States healthcare system is so bad that one of the guys who escaped from Alcatraz, literally this guy, John Anglin, got cancer at the age of 83 and had no money and couldn't afford any medical attention, that he literally wrote to the FBI, turning himself in, begging them to put him back into jail so that he could get cancer treatments. And, of course, what happens? They ignored his letter and let him die.
It's kind of wild how the entire internet immediately came together to celebrate the United Healthcare CEO getting shot. Immediately, there was no discussion. They're like, hell yeah, screw that guy. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought it was kind of fucked up. I was like, that's a human being, bro. Like, he has a family. But then I just went into a coffee shop and I saw a poster for a GoFundMe for the owner of the coffee shop to get a cancer surgery because the insurance company wouldn't pay for it. And I was like, yeah, no, I get it. Like the fact that there's a health tab on the website that's supposed to raise money to send little Johnny to like astronaut camp is all you need to know.
I just got my hospital bill. I was in there for 3 days for a leg surgery, and I'm going to read you the itemized charge list. First, semi-private room and bed changes, $12,487. Changes for drugs and IV solutions, $2,222. Medical surgical supplies, $2,918. Clinical laboratory changes, $5,314. Operating room charges, $7,749. Anesthesia services, $2,157. Physical therapy, $874. I literally had no physical therapy. I had surgery and I walked with a nurse when I got out. And I was the one who said I wanted to walk on my own. I literally held some random nurse's arm. Emergency room services, $5,615. Recovery room services, $1,948. For a total of a whopping $41,288. Free that boy.
So I lived internationally in Mexico and Costa Rica for a total of combined about 2 years. Now I just moved back to the US and I'm living in San Diego. And I had to go to the doctor for the first time in 3 years in the US. And I just want to talk about the cost difference for the exact same test in all 3 countries. So in Costa Rica, we had a local doctor in our town, a couple, and we also had a hospital about 30 minutes outside of town, and then a major hospital about an hour and a half outside of town. So I would always just go to the local doctor that I could walk to. The appointment itself cost $45, and the medicine I need, because this is a recurring thing that happens to me, the medicine I need cost $26. So in total, Costa Rica cost $71 to treat this issue. Now in Mexico, we just had a little clinic and a bigger clinic in town. And when I went to the doctor, the appointment cost $20 and the medication cost $15. So it was $35 to treat this issue. And both of those were without any insurance. I just paid straight out of pocket to the doctor and to the pharmacy to get my medicine. Now for the lovely United States of America. I went to the doctor, got the test and got the medication, and I got my bills in the mail yesterday. After insurance, so insurance was used in the US and not in the other 2 countries. I can't even say that loud, it's fucking hilarious. Okay, the doctor's appointment itself cost $342. The test was $77, and then the medication was $66. That's $485. Mexico cost me about $35, and Costa Rica cost me about $71. It's just comical. I don't even know what else to say. It's comical. Yeah, that's all. Have a good day.
We pay $1,800 a month for a family of 4 to have health insurance. My daughter was recently diagnosed with diabetes, and they are charging us $4,000 on top of our monthly premium. They are charging us $4,000 for the services that she had to literally save her life. On top of that, they would not cover her insulin pen that she needs. She gets half doses of insulin based on her carbs, and for some reason they didn't cover that. Why the fuck am I paying you $2,000 a month if you're not going to even cover what she needs? So it's really hard for me to feel sorry for the CEO of United Healthcare, honestly, or his family, knowing that they have screwed people out of literally their lives. They have not covered things that are medically necessary, life-saving measures to keep people alive. It's not like people ask for diabetes. It's not like people ask for cancer. These are things that just happen, and you shouldn't have to die because you can't fucking afford it.
Hey, insurance. I could tell that I'm going to be running out of insulin soon. Can I refill my prescription now? No, you're going to have to wait until you run out. Oh, great. I ran out. Hi, doctor. Can you please send my prescription to the pharmacy for my insulin? Sure. Hi, pharmacy. Is my prescription ready? We never received it from your doctor. That's messed up. I'm all out of insulin. Let me give them a call. Hi, doctor's office. Why didn't you send my prescription for insulin to the pharmacy? I'm all out. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Our app doesn't work. But we want you to fill your prescriptions through the app. Can you please send the prescription to the pharmacy? Yeah. Hi, pharmacy. Is my prescription ready? I'm sorry, but we don't have your insulin in stock. Then can you send it to a pharmacy that does have it in stock? Sure. That'll be $800. What? Hello, insurance? What's up? Why is my insulin $800? Because we don't like that insulin. That insulin sucks. It's too expensive, so we're not going to cover it anymore. You have to use different insulin. More cheap insulin. Insulin not good for your body. Well, if I do the insulin that you like, will you give me more than just a month's supply? No! Why would we do that? This is the doctor's office. We noticed you're losing weight. Are you more stressed than usual? Not as stressed as I normally am. Every month. Well, you should really get a hold of your stress levels. And we think that the reason why you have all these other problems other than the diabetes is either because of the diabetes or it's because you're stressed and you have anxiety. So we're not going to look further into anything else that this could possibly be. Okay, love you, bye.
For those of you that don't understand how truly awful the US has become, I'm gonna put it into perspective for you. I saw my aunt yesterday and she told me a story that absolutely blew my mind. And it's really hard to tell me a story about the evil that America is right now that surprises me. But this surprised me. It's on another level. So my aunt is a realtor and she had a client in the past that she sold a second farm to. He is a farmer and he raises cattle, making an honest living, and so his original farm wasn't big enough for all of his cattle, so he had to get a second farm. And then his wife got pregnant and then a medical emergency happened. So basically, the baby was born extremely prematurely and the wife almost died, but that's a separate issue. And so I want you to guess. I want you to formulate a number in your head about how much you think it cost for that baby to be in the hospital for 4 months because it was a premature baby. Take a minute, think about it. $900,000. Almost $1 million. What small business owner, farmer has $1 million? So now he has to sell his second farm, he has to sell some of those cattle, and for what? So his baby could survive. America, right? So pro-life, huh?
Storytime about how evil the American healthcare system that I've sold my future to actually is. Y'all, hospitals in this country are so greedy, so corrupt, and so brazen that they don't even bother pretending they aren't completely scamming us and screwing us over. I only need one example to prove this, and that is hospitals making patients pay to park. Imagine that your dad is in the hospital and you're scared, you're stressed, you're sad. You really just want to be there to help out and support your family during this trying time. And you can. You just gotta pay $10 to park first. Is there any better example of kicking someone in the crotch while they're already down? I found out about this brilliant con on the first day of one of my rotations where I parked in the garage that we were told to park at, did my work, and then was told that they would not validate my parking. I paid $12 to park at the hospital that I'm paying to rotate at. Never in my life have I felt as stupid as when I forked over $12 to pay the hospital that I'm already paying to provide free labor to. And $12 a day is a lot of money. So I called admin and I was like, I straight up can't afford this. Where do I park for free? They sent me to a lot that was 6 blocks away. And 6 blocks is nothing, but Texas cities are not walkable, and this was not a good part of town. I would get out at 2 or 3 a.m. and then have to walk by myself to the parking lot, which, for context, was surrounded by barbed wire. There wasn't security or anything to make me feel better about being a young woman walking by myself through a high-crime part of the city where some of the streetlights weren't even working. Here's the kicker. Accessibility is so important, and patient parking should be close to the hospital. I agree with prioritizing that. What I don't agree with is making me walk 6 blocks in the middle of the night so that you can position patients more optimally to drain their pockets further, as if you're not already charging $15 for a tablet of Tylenol. At this point, is the system even salvageable?
Do you want to know how bad healthcare is in America? Here's how bad it is. Yeah. I get stitches, cut my finger the other day. Go into the hospital, get my stitches done. No big deal, whatever. I have to wait 2 weeks to get them taken out. In the meantime, I get billed for my visit. Of course. Before insurance, for 5 stitches, $3,800. What? After insurance, $1,800. Oh, come on. Or $1,900, excuse me. After insurance, $1,900 for 5 stitches. For a terrible hospital visit. Anyway, fast forward, so I get my bill and it's time to take the stitches out, so I schedule an appointment at the urgent care that is associated with the hospital that I went to, same company. So I schedule suture removal appointment online, and then I go in for the appointment and they say, sorry, we're not going to take those out. Since you got them done at the hospital, you have to get them removed at the hospital.
Oh, come on.
I said, why didn't you tell me that when I scheduled the appointment online? They said, sorry, go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. And then I wait around for a while in the ER, and then I get back and I ask the nurse, hey, this is what happened. They turned me away at urgent care, told me to come here, that you guys would do it for free. Is that true? And the nurse said, let me check on that. I'm going to check with billing really fast. So they go check on billing. And then they say, sorry, billing says that you'll have to pay to get these stitches removed. And I said, that really sucks because I paid $1,800 to have that done after insurance. And they said, that is absolutely ridiculous. I know.
It is.
And then I said, gonna be honest, I'm not gonna pay any more money to the hospital because I already paid too much anyway. So I'm just gonna go. And I said, I think I might just remove them myself. And they said, that makes sense because that was so much money. So we'll just take you off triage. It'll be like you're never here. Don't worry about it. And then they were like, you know what? Let me just don't tell anybody we gave you this. And they gave me a little kit to remove my stitches myself. So that's a little story about healthcare in America. $1,800 will get you 5 stitches, and then nurses have to go behind the backs of the hospital to get you treated. So that's pretty stupid.
It's a
major bag alert, major bag alert, bag.
Yeah, I hope that number caught your eye. 1.8 million. Now, this is a really unusual situation. In another video, she mentions she's got a rare genetic disorder, so she had to go through these specialized tests. But in her words, she said, thank God I had good health insurance. Because you know what she paid out of 1.8 million? $5,000. That was her max out of pocket on her plan. So for all those people out there, in my comment section who say, your insurance is a scam, pay cash, I would love for you to ask for an itemized bill for that one and see how much you end up having to pay out of pocket.
Hi, I just broke my arm. Don't worry, sir. We can fix that for $500. Oh, okay. That's a lot of money, but I am in a lot of pain, so... A month. What? That'll be $500 a month for the rest of your life, plus an additional $200 every time you want to actually see a doctor. But why would I have to pay more money to see a doctor if I'm already paying for insurance? That doesn't make sense. Hey, sir, I don't make the rules, okay? I just tell them to sick and dying people. Okay, you know what? My arm really hurts, so I'll pay the $500 a month. Okay, great. Go ahead and put your payment info in, and a doctor will be with you in around 7 months. Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, 9 months. Unless someone passes away waiting in line with you, which is pretty likely, honestly. This is insane. I don't... Oh, God. Oh, my God, I'm having a heart attack. I need to see a doctor right away. Oh, sorry, sir, but it doesn't look like you have insurance yet. Okay, whatever. I'll just pay out of pocket, please. Okay, no problem. After all the surgeries are performed, that'll end up costing you around $100,000. You know what? On second thought, I don't need to live. Yeah, that's probably your only option at this point. Okay, can someone clean that up, please? I want to go to lunch.
So you were telling me that people are unaware, they're unaware that the whole reason why hospitals are not allowed to turn you away in an emergency situation, regardless of your ability to pay, is because of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, which states that hospitals who receive Medicare funding are not allowed to turn you away. And they are proposing to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid. Talk to a caseworker. There are no ineligible people who are receiving it. The only people who are receiving it are eligible because there is a vetting process. All these people that they say are illegally getting it, it's not happening. The point is to start the process to get rid of it entirely. And if we get rid of the only guaranteed payment for medical care in this country and we leave it all to our pockets with no support, guess what's going to happen to you? You are going to lose out on care because hospitals are going to close who depend on that funding. We don't have enough money to pay the bills that they decided were fair, which I'm sorry, I just had a life-saving surgery and I owe $3,000. If I don't pay $55 fucking dollars that I don't have to my primary care physician, they can decide to no longer treat me, and they will. And I've got to start all over again somewhere else. You all think that you're safe because, it's been that way because we fought to get it that way, and they're reversing it. You all have been so fucking pampered that you don't understand what we had to fight for to get you. Oh, but everyone dies. Bitch, apparently not fucking politicians.
How much do you think one open heart surgery costs for a newborn in America? Our daughter was born with a critical heart condition. She needed open heart surgery almost immediately. When she was rushed back to the OR, medical bills were the last thing on our minds. We were simply in survival mode. Months later, the bills started rolling in, and I was completely shocked. There were over a dozen specialists involved, multiple blood transfusions, and hours on the bypass machine. The care was life-saving, but nothing prepared me for what the surgery alone would cost, not including the rest of her hospital stay. This number is just one operation. If you've made it this far, thank you. With just 1 minute of your time, you're helping raise awareness, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So thank you for engaging. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them below. But now for the moment you've been waiting for. The total cost for one surgery in America is $469,685.
America's healthcare system is already on the brink of collapse, but the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare that Republicans have been pushing through the last 2 nights in the middle of the night will cause total chaos. My name is Lex. I'm a nurse. I am quite literally waiting to go inside for my shift this morning, but I really feel like everyone needs a little bit of context as to why this matters and why this is so catastrophic. These cuts, and the cuts are in total over $1 trillion to both Medicaid and Medicare, will cause sheer and utter chaos in our healthcare system. Now, they want to cut over $800 billion to Medicaid alone over the course of 10 years. What does that mean? So that's roughly 10% of Medicaid's budget. Every year, Medicaid has around $800 billion to spend. So if you cut $800 billion in 10 years, that's 10%. Medicaid is the largest reimbursement of nursing homes, okay? Without Medicaid, and any cuts to Medicaid means your grandma and grandpa and your parents are going to be neglected in their nursing homes. And I'm not saying that because the staff is at fault. I'm saying that because when budget is cut, nursing homes cut staff. Right now, today, as I'm making this video, nursing homes are already making nurses take care of 30 to 40 patients. We can't be everywhere at once. Those ratios are about to grow. So a 10% cut to Medicaid does mean that there will be massive neglect in our nursing homes. It also means that some nursing homes are going to shut down completely. And that means that the hospitals you and I rely on, every single hospital in this country is going to have a delay getting people out of the hospital. People are going to sit and wait for discharge because a lot of the folks that come into the hospitals need to discharge to nursing homes, whether it's for rehab or long-term care or whatever. That's not going to happen. They're already full. The nursing homes are already full. Now they're about to get their budget cut. We are not going to be able to move people out of these hospital beds, you guys. And that means catastrophic levels of delays in care for everyone else.
I don't know how much clearer I can be. If there are no hospital beds, there are no hospital beds. That means no beds for your car accident. Sorry, you come in with a broken femur and a broken pelvis. If we don't have beds, we're not going to treat you in the parking lot. We legally can't do that. So this is going to affect everybody. Private doctor's offices who primarily take Medicaid patients, if you go to that doctor and you don't have Medicaid, if they shut down, does it matter? Does it matter? Simply put, the disabled and the elderly are going to die because of these cuts. And Republicans know that. They know that. That's why they're doing these votes at 1 in the fucking morning. They know that only 15% of Americans, regardless of political belief, 15% support Medicaid cuts. That is one of the most unpopular policy positions in history. Not to mention all of the rural hospitals who will simply put shut down. A lot of these rural hospitals are almost completely reimbursed by Medicaid and Medicare. If they lose that money, they will shut down. A lot of them are already on the brink of shutting down as it is, which means that rural Americans, small town Americans will have to drive hours to see a doctor. That means death. There's no other way to put this. So I hope that gives some context as to why every single person watching this video needs to be up their elected officials' assholes right now. You need to be calling and calling and calling, emailing. If you live in DC, go knock on that damn door. If you live near one of their offices in your congressional district, go knock on that damn door. We need to be in the streets. We need to be online talking about this. We need to be making as much noise as possible because our elderly deserve better, our disabled folks deserve better, and we deserve better.
The Canadian healthcare system is a joke. First of all, people say it's free. It's not free because me and you, we actually pay for it through our tax money. Second of all, I have a quick story time. What happened once was I actually cut open this finger, as you could see, and it was like literally hanging. So my sister actually decides to take me to the ER. We wait hours and hours while my finger is bleeding on their floor. People next to me who are actually offering me handkerchiefs while the hospital staff doesn't even come and acknowledge. Okay, whatever. After probably 8-9 hours of me bleeding, I actually go see the doctor. And the doctor's like, oh, why didn't you come here sooner? How am I supposed to go there sooner while your staff actually made me wait 8 and 9 hours in the ER? Now that it was done, I got my stitches. We went out. We realized that we have to pay $30-40 just for parking.
The fact that you guys are being charged for minor services so heavily, oh my god, my heart goes out to you, because every time you have to go to the doctor's office, you rethink that decision about the costs. Let me tell you, I thought healthcare was expensive in my country, but I've come to realize I've just been complaining. It's not expensive. It's not. There are people paying a premium for very minor services. And what is going on? Are they corrupting people? Because they're overcharging people. What is going on in that system? What is going on? You see, let me tell you, growing up, you see in Africa, people have had, let me tell you that mentality. I think it has changed right now because we have social media. You can see what is happening in other parts of the world. You can clearly see what is going on. Like, for example, this healthcare system. Let me tell you, growing up here in Africa, or here in Kenya specifically, people always wanted to move to the West, to Europe, to these first world countries. But let me tell you something. I was like that too. But an year or two ago, I sat down and I realized the kind of pressure that it takes to live in such a first world country. I don't think I will be able to handle it. And one thing I will not be able to handle is such things. Like charging me, I don't know how much for a service. Oh my god, let me tell you, I'm not bashing US or America in any way, but I'm saying such things made me change my mind so fast. And then I came to realize, if at all I can make a good income while still in Kenya, then Kenya works for me 100%. Like, there's no need to move there. There's no need. But I promised myself I'd visit the US. I'd come maybe, and one day maybe, but then my dream is one day to come and maybe Maybe organize a meet and greet for us ladies. And I don't know which city it will be in. That confuses me a lot. Or which state. Those things confuse me a lot. So I don't know, but that is one of my dreams. So I have to come to the US but not to live there. Just to visit as many times as I want but not to live there. Oh my god. So ladies, what do you think about this video? I think doctors are heartless. I don't know. Maybe if you're a doctor, I'm sorry for the offensive language, but I think some doctors are there. I don't think they care, and I think this system only cares about the money. Like everyone nowadays is so transactional to the point that I'm even scared to bring more children to this world because it's like everyone just cares about themselves. I don't know, but in the olden days it wasn't so much like this, like right now. Like humanity cared about humanity. Hey, and it's getting worse. It will get worse. Like, hey. Anyway, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video was eye-opening. It was educational. It was yes, ladies. Anyway, ladies, have a nice day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.